うしてかしら。不思議ね。なんでつけられたの？なんで言うたびにも愛してないよ。
Fairies, simple-minded and short-living creatures, but can easily regenerate itself back to life after death, so they aren't really short-living. Although even if they have immortal and magical capabilities, they still get bodied by species like humans, who is the only creature in Jinsokyo who mostly don't tend to have magical abilities and weapons, which have been ridiculously overpowered since the birth of the Hakure barrier, but moreover on utilizing insanely advanced weaponries. However, there's one particular fairy that humans should fear, and it's Cirno. But what makes him fairly strong for one species that tend to get bullied by humans? And is Cirno overpowered? Well, we're gonna answer this question for today's video. First of all, let's check Cirno's main ability, manipulation of the cold. For her most basic moves, she can turn water into solid ice and can also turn her surrounding rather chilly, especially in the summer. And with this ability she can make melee weapons such as swords and spears, but mostly tends to use her ability to make frozen projectiles like icicles and huge ice cubes. Since she can freeze objects, that means she is capable of freezing traveling bullets and completely stopping them. And in Great Fairy War it is proven that she can freeze bullets midair, which is a rather good defensive ability when used in the right way. But unfortunately Cirno is a fairy, and fairies are again simple-minded. Cirno always rush her opponent instead of playing passive, keeping distance, and continue to use her skill into its fullest potential by always going on the defensive, which can get very frustrating against opponents that has the same level of intelligence as Cirno, since the bullets will just stop moving midair. For Cirno's other abilities, she has access to the flight ability since she is in fairy, making it easier to evade attacks without having that much problem. And her physical ability, not much are to be said on that since they are fairies, but again Cirno is built different and can outclass a fully grown human in terms of their physical strength. Now for the disadvantages or cons, whatever you call it. Starting with her physical self, Cirno is very weak without her cold manipulation. That means if something were to negate or nullify her ability, she is completely done for. Also, her ability on freezing bullets midair is rendered useless against burning projectiles such as lasers and flaming bullets, which can be very bad since not only her best ability is futile against it, but her whole arsenal of freezing Danmaku is gonna be melted and bypassed, resulting into Cirno's lost since her ice shield would just melt like in Phantasm of Memories when she is fighting against Okumu. Cirno's below average intelligence won't come in handy against opponents that are stronger than her, because simply Cirno can't outsmart her, which is bad because not only she is outpowered but outsmarted. Now let's talk about matchups. We'll start with best the matchup against Cirno and climb our way up towards the worst matchup against her, starting from fellow fairies. Notably the best competitor against Cirno. Way more weaker than her, less intelligent than her. Overall, fairies compared to Cirno are like punching bags, and Cirno is a boxer. Humans and younger yokais, not the best competitor. And also not the worst against Cirno. These might include people like Rumia, Regal, and maybe Kosuzu and Chen. Someone who lacks experience on Danmaku or just has a below average skills on Danmaku. Cirno has a winning chance of only 50 to 70% against them, because some of them can outsmart Cirno. Any gods or pretty old yokais, bad matchup for Cirno since they have gigantic experience gap and intelligence on skills. These people may include Okina, Hina, Melee, and other old gods or old yokais, and since they have experience gap, they will have no problem dealing with Cirno at anyway. For the worst matchup against Cirno is heat-based or laser ability users such as Aku, Moko, Marisa, and many more users. They can easily burn through Cirno's attacks and defenses, which renders Cirno not only very weakened but also very vulnerable to attacks and is easy to counter. And that makes them a very terrible matchup against Cirno. And now that we have this information, time to answer the main question. Is Cirno OP? Obviously not, you ice cube eater. Maybe if Cirno trained consistently with experts like Marissa or Mailing, maybe she would get way more smarter and stronger, but she didn't, and instead proceeded trained by herself instead without seeking guidance and recommendations. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it, because if you see my video go over 2 minutes, that means it took more than 2 hours, so please like and subscribe. It would really help me. And here goes the outro.